Do you ever ask yourself, how do I stop being a victim of gaslighting? Believe me, I ask myself that question so many times. It's Melissa with Victim to Warrior, and one of the things that I questioned was my sanity, because the gaslighting is so dangerously manipulating, because they know what they're doing, but you don't. And the way they twist things around, you start doubting what actually happened. And you're sitting there going, wait a minute, no, this is what happened. And they are so calm about it while you're very upset, and they will relay how it happened, and it will be your fault. The blame will shift to you, or you made it up, or that's not what happened, or you exaggerate it, or you're oversensitive. All these things are part of gaslighting, and it is extremely dangerous for one's mental health. And I literally started doubting mine. I started doubting my sanity, because I knew what happened, or I thought I knew what happened. But he was so calm about what he said happened. It was completely different than how I remembered it. So I had to start writing things down. I had no choice, because the only person I could believe in this was myself. So after every situation that got sidetracked or a huge fight we got into, I wrote things down. I wrote down exactly what happened, because when you're going through gaslighting in a narcissistic abusive relationship, you cannot believe the narcissist. Believe me, you cannot. You can only believe yourself. You can only believe your truth. So when you write something down and then someone's questioning it later and you go back and you read it, things will start falling into place with you. And then you will start thinking about, you know what? I'm not going to be tricked into that again. I'm not going to fall for that again. The one thing you don't want to do is to argue with the narcissist, because even though you know what happened, because you wrote down what happened, you will never convince the narcissist. So you're wasting your time. This is for you. This is for your sanity. And that's what I did for my own sanity, because you can't convince a narcissist of their own lies. You know why? Because they know exactly what happened. They know exactly what happened. They're just trying to convince you that it didn't happen. So that is not about them. This is about you. This is about your sanity. This is about taking control of your mental well-being. And it's the only way that I could do it. In fact, when things got so horrific with my narc, and I was married to an abusive narcissist for 7 years, was when I finally got to mediation. This was after 3 years of all of his games in court, dragging things out, costing me thousands and thousands of dollars. And I had 3 restraining orders against this man. He had threatened my life, my son's life. I had been into the hospital multiple times. And it was so bad that an armed guard had to be between me and my narcissist, who was in the adjoining room. And I was waiting for it, because I was the breadwinner. Everything was in my name. So when the mediator came in with a written letter, I thought, oh Lord, here it is. I can't imagine what this man's going to ask for. And the mediator said he won't even discuss mediation or divorce until you read this letter. And I thought, okay. I opened the letter, and it was the most unbelievable love bombing, gaslighting pack of deceptive lies that I've ever seen in my life. And by now, because I had been journaling for 2 years, I knew my own mind. He could not gaslight me. He could not manipulate me into believing something that wasn't true, but he tried. This letter was laid out. He blamed others for our problem. He said we had the deepest love and we could get back together and we could start where we were, and to please ignore this divorce and let's just move away together and get all the bad influences out of our life. So because my mind was in the right place, I knew exactly where this was going. So I told the mediator, I said, you know what? I'm going to stop the divorce proceedings, but I need him to sign an affidavit waiving all of his rights to my assets forever. He has to sign it, waiving all rights, because everything was in my name, that he had no claim on it, waiving all rights, here and now, notarized statement. And the mediator left with that recommendation to my soon-to-be ex-narc. And the mediator said, oh, he's going to go for this because he is so in love with you. He just told me how in love he is with you. He doesn't want this divorce. He is going to go for this. And my attorney was freaking out. And she said, what are you doing? What if he goes for this? And I said, just give it 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, the mediator came back, not with the affidavit waiving his rights to my assets, but with a list of demands of what he wanted in the divorce. So please, you cannot believe anything they say. You can only believe yourself and your truth. And honestly, that is what Module 2 of my course, The Victim to Warrior, is all about. It is a journey back to self-love, self-confidence, self-focus, and getting rid of self-doubt. Because when you're in a narcissistic, abusive relationship, that's all they do. They make you doubt yourself. They make you lose your self-esteem, your confidence. Everything about you is in question in your own mind. But if you journal and you write things down, it's your truth. And that's the only truth that matters. So in Module 2, I cover this in detail, and journaling is not easy, believe me. I actually journaled for 7 years. In fact, I'm going to sell a book about it. But it's not that easy. But going through the steps gradually, it's such a healing process. And it was cleansing for me. And I want that for you too. So take a look. It's in the link below, Victim to Warrior Method. Look at the modules. Module 1, if you haven't seen it, we posted that a week ago. And that is seriously critical steps that you need to take if you have left or if you're going to leave your narc. So please take a look at that. But this is about you and your well-being, your mental health, and how you can go to being a victim to a warrior and reclaiming your life back. This leads you on that journey to self-love, self-confidence, happiness, and control of your life. So you never, ever, ever have to doubt your own word and what you believe in your own heart. And I totally want that for you. So please take a look at it, leave your comments, and please be safe. And remember, you can go from being a victim to warrior by taking that first step. And I totally want that for you.